Good afternoon, subscribers and viewers. My name is Mxolisi Ncube. I'm a journalist based in Johannesburg. I've fielded some questions from people, especially those who are worried about what is said to be happening in Johannesburg uh, concerning a standoff between some, uh, some residents, or rather some migrants in the township of Alexandra in Johannesburg, and members of Operation Dudula. The people want to know what is exactly happening. Has there been violence there? What is happening exactly? So what we've gathered is that there is indeed a standoff between migrants who live in Alexandra. These are poor migrants who live in and around Alexandra. Some of them informal traders, others just ordinary people there who are part of the migrant population in Alexandra. You know that Alexandra is a combination of locals and migrants. So the information that we're gathering is that members of Operation Dudula went there and they were ordering migrants to leave Alexandra. They are saying that they want to claim back Alexandra from migrants. They want to claim their shacks. They want to claim their places of residence from migrants who are renting there. They want to claim even informal trading stalls from migrants who are operating from there. And they went there saying that migrants should leave that place. They don't care whether somebody is a documented migrant or is an illegal immigrant. So they went there and they ordered these people to leave Alexandra immediately. They didn't give them any options of maybe staying for some period of a time or a deadline for them to leave. The deadline was for them to leave today, and migrants quickly organized themselves against Operation Dudula, and what we saw are crowds that are almost similar in size that had faced off. And we are told, according to some accounts of South Africans that were there, that some of them, we saw them being interviewed on television. They are saying that they want these people out. They want them out of Alexandra. They must go back to where they come from. And they are saying that when they went there to tell these people to leave, the migrants formed themselves, organized themselves, armed themselves with bricks and sticks, and said that they are going to defend themselves with those. There are some people that were told have been pelted with some missiles there. There hasn't been a loss of life, but we are told that some of the people that went there, or some of the people from both sides, have been injured. And what we are being told again by someone who works with security is that the threat is getting even worse, is getting even more, the situation is getting even more tense. And they are saying that they fear that, especially during the night, something must burst, something must give in, and there might be some violence, which is what we are not looking forward to. And the question that we need to ask ourselves as Africans, as black Africans, is this the Africa that we want? Is this the Africa that our continental fathers thought about when they formed the frontline states to fight against colonial regimes all over Africa? Is this the Africa that we want to leave for our children? Is this the Africa that we want the international community to know us as? Is this the legacy that this generation of Africans wants to form? Are we happy with the way Africa is cascading into this lawless society, where these African people do not see eye to eye, where Africans in Africa we will call each other enemies, where Africans in Africa will face off like this, threaten each other's life, just fighting for crumbs? Is there no way that we can negotiate for a better Africa, for a better South Africa, for a better Africa in the countries that we come from? Because what we must all understand and accept is that it is not the migrants' problem that they end up being in South Africa. It is not South Africans' problem that their country still has this democratic space where people can find it as the Mecca of Africa and come here in their millions. As poor Africans as we are, we need to come together and say, what is it that we can force these migrant producing countries to correct the situation and allow for their people to go back and stop burdening South Africa? Because the fact of the matter is that South Africans are suffering in their own land, and now they are being led to believe by those who are causing their suffering. They are being led to believe that it's migrants who are producing this, it's migrants who are creating this kind of a situation. So what this means is that both migrants and locals, instead of fighting, they need to sit down together, dialogue around these issues that end up creating migrants that are then burdening South Africa, to say what is it that we need to do to make sure that the situation in Mozambique normalizes, that democracy prevails, that the situation in Zimbabwe normalizes, that democracy prevails, and that the economic situation is cute in Zimbabwe, so that Zimbabweans that are here in South Africa in their thousands end up going back to Zimbabwe, that the situation in the DRC normalizes and peace prevails in that country, that the situation in every other African country which is torn in conflict is corrected and these people go back. We cannot solve this by fighting among ourselves as poor Africans, as black Africans, as Africans that are not even in control of the situation in their countries. So our prayer is that peace will prevail in Alexandra, that peace will prevail in all over South Africa, but also that the situation in these countries is solved, and we need South Africans to help us solve this problem. South African politicians who sit in parliament, instead of fueling the anger against migrants, they need to put the South African government to task. They need to force the South African government to put the African agenda on the SADC and the AU. They need to face up to their peers on those bodies to say, you are creating a situation for us in our own country. You were liberated for most of these countries. You were liberated way, way before us. But now we are taking your burden. What is it that you need us to assist you with? Why don't you go back to the ideals and ethos of the liberation struggle that saw us form the frontline states? Because what is happening is that while poor Africans are fighting among themselves, the elite ruling classes are sitting at the top tables sipping champagne and forgetting about everything else that the people are complaining about. So our prayer is that the situation normalizes in Alex, but also that South Africa doesn't continue to carry the burden of other African countries, so that all these countries like Zimbabwe, which is going to elections next year, domesticate peace, domesticate democracy, and allow for the people of those countries, for the citizens, to decide what they want their country, the path that they want their countries to chart. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be okay for South Africa to continue hosting these swelling numbers of migrants, some of who are coming here with different attitudes, attitude of looking down upon South Africans, attitude of saying, whatever you do, we are going to stay here for good. This does not work well. It further widens the gap between locals and migrants. So our prayer is that nobody falls back to the violent dispositions that we have seen before, that we have seen previously, but also that in the long run, a long-term solution is found to the migration problem in Africa. So if you are in Alex or any other place that the situation is getting volatile, please send us your findings under the comments section, or you can also email us. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video and share it. Thank you.